We're exploring a story you won't find in the headlines. A quiet shift along our northern border. Across towns from Maine to South Carolina, empty hotel rooms and vacant tables tell the tale. Canadian tourists, once a backbone of American tourism, are staying home. Their absence is rippling through local economies, affecting livelihoods and community spirit. This isn't just about exchange rates or travel trends, it's about changing perceptions and a shifting relationship with our closest neighbor. We'll look at 7 states hit hardest, hear from those affected, and ask what this means for the future. Let's dive in. In Maine, Canadian visitors have long been a summer tradition, fueling local economies from Old Orchard Beach to Bar Harbor. Their dollars once filled hotels, restaurants, and gift shops, supporting Mainers through the busy season. Now that steady flow has slowed dramatically. Hotel vacancies are up and businesses that once thrived on Canadian customers are struggling. A Bar Harbor shop owner who relied on Montreal and Halifax tourists has cut staff and dipped into savings just to stay afloat. The reasons? A tough exchange rate, yes, but also a growing discomfort with the US political climate. Many Canadians say they feel less safe and less welcome, a sentiment that's hard to measure but impossible to ignore. Maine's tourism board is fighting back with new campaigns, but when the issue is deeper than dollars, marketing only goes so far. The loss isn't just economic, it's cultural. Families, businesses, and traditions have long crossed this border. Now those bonds are fraying and the uncertainty is weighing heavily on communities up and down the coast. For many, the hope is that the tide will turn, but the future feels more uncertain than ever. The silence of missing visitors is a daily reminder of what's at stake. Maine's identity, as much as its economy, hangs in the balance. Vermont's ski resorts once buzzed with Canadian visitors. Nearly half of J-Peak's guests came from Quebec. Now that number has plummeted. The impact is immediate. Fewer lift tickets, empty hotels, and local workers scrambling for second jobs. A ski instructor who once taught Canadian families all winter now faces empty schedules and financial strain. The exchange rate is a hurdle, but there's more. Canadians are choosing their own ski hills, citing a growing disconnect with the US social climate. Vermont's tourism industry is pivoting, targeting New York and Boston, but replacing the reliable Canadian market is tough and costly. The loss is more than financial. Vermont and Quebec share a love for the outdoors and a unique cultural bond. As cross-border travel declines, that connection weakens, leaving communities feeling isolated. The absence of familiar French voices on the slopes is a quiet crisis for towns built on international friendship. For many Vermonters, the separation is deeply personal, a loss of both income and identity. The question now, can Vermont rebuild those ties, or is this the new normal? The answer will shape the future of these mountain towns. For now, the slopes are quieter, and the chill runs deeper than the snow. South Texas has long welcomed winter Texans, Canadian retirees escaping the cold for sun and community. Their seasonal migration fills RV parks, supports local businesses, and weaves Canadians into towns like McAllen and Brownsville. But now, empty lots and shuttered businesses tell a different story. Bookings from Canadians are down over 40% in some parks. Owners are laying off staff, and the economic shock is rippling through restaurants, golf courses, and healthcare providers. The reasons? Fixed incomes make exchange rates painful, but the bigger issue is a sense of unease. Political rhetoric around immigration and border security has made many Canadians feel unwelcome or unsafe. Local leaders try to counter this with community events and welcoming banners, but national headlines are hard to overcome. The loss is personal. These visitors volunteer, join clubs, and become part of the community. Their absence leaves a social and economic void. For South Texas, losing the winter Texans means more than lost revenue. It's losing a cherished part of their winter family. The warmth of the sun can't replace the warmth of those connections. As the migration slows, the region faces a colder, quieter season. The question remains, can South Texas restore its welcome? Myrtle Beach, South Carolina has long depended on Canadian tourists to fill hotels and restaurants, especially in the off-season. Canadians stay longer and spend more, making them vital to the local economy. But bookings from Canada are down nearly 30%, forcing hotels to slash prices and cut profits. The reasons echo other states, a tough exchange rate and increasingly discomfort with the state's political climate. Some Canadians see new laws and headlines as unwelcoming, choosing to vacation elsewhere as a quiet protest. Local tourism officials are ramping up marketing in Canada, but it's a tough sell when visitors feel uneasy. The impact is felt beyond hotels. Mini golf courses, pancake houses, and souvenir shops all suffer. When a Canadian family cancels, the loss ripples through the community. For Myrtle Beach, the absence of loyal Canadian guests is a troubling sign, a shadow over its sunny reputation. The challenge now is to rebuild trust and restore the sense of welcome that once defined the Grand Strand. Until then, the beaches are quieter and the future is uncertain. The Jersey Shore has long been a favorite for French-Canadian families, their presence so strong that businesses hire French speakers and post bilingual signs. But now, those familiar visitors are disappearing. Rental homes and motels sit empty, and local businesses feel the strain. A Wildwood motel owner once booked solid with Quebec guests, now scrambles to attract domestic tourists. The culprit, a weak Canadian dollar and rising costs make U.S. vacations less affordable, but there's also a cultural shift. Some Canadians feel the America they loved is changing, citing a more polarized, tense atmosphere. The result: shorter stays, or vacations closer to home. Shore towns that invested in French-Canadian hospitality now face the challenge of reinventing themselves. The loss is more than economic, it's a fading tradition and a quieter summer. For many, the sound of the ocean is now matched by the silence of missing friends from the north. The question: can the Jersey Shore adapt, or will the quiet become the new normal? Only time will tell. Georgia's charm and mild winters once drew a growing wave of Canadian snowbirds, especially to Savannah and the coast. Tourism boards invested in Canadian marketing, and for a while it worked. Canadian license plates filled hotel lots. But now, that growth has stalled. Tour operators report Canadian bookings have all but vanished. The main reason: the exchange rate. For retirees on fixed incomes, Georgia is no longer a bargain. Many now look to destinations where their dollar goes further, or simply stay home. There's also a subtle undercurrent of discomfort with U.S. political polarization, making some Canadians rethink their travel plans. For Georgia's tourism sector, it's a frustrating setback, just as they were gaining ground. The dream of becoming a major snowbird destination is on hold. Economic and political stability, it turns out, matter as much as sunshine. Georgia must now rethink its strategy and rebuild trust with its northern visitors. The future of this new frontier is uncertain. Minnesota's border towns have long relied on Canadian shoppers and vacationers to fuel their economies. Cross-border traffic once filled malls, gas stations, and grocery stores, especially in places like International Falls. Now, that flow has slowed dramatically. Store managers report fewer Canadian customers, leading to reduced hours and layoffs. The main culprit is economic. The exchange rate makes U.S. shopping trips less appealing. Shop local campaigns in Canada are keeping dollars at home, but it's not just about money. Tougher border crossings and a less welcoming atmosphere are also factors. Canadians say the trip feels more like a hassle and less like a friendly visit. Minnesota's tourism office is trying to lure them back with deals and reminders of shared values. But powerful economic forces and shifting perceptions are hard to overcome. For border communities, the absence of their neighbors is a daily reminder of a strained connection. The question: can these ties be restored, or is the era of easy cross-border friendship fading? Across America, the decline in Canadian tourism is more than an economic dip. It's a reflection of how we're seen by our closest neighbors. Empty hotel rooms and shuttered shops are symptoms of a deeper issue: a loss of trust and a sense of welcome. Millions of small decisions, to stay home, to vacation elsewhere, add up to a powerful statement. For many Canadians, the cost of a U.S. vacation is now too high, not just in dollars, but in comfort and respect. The stories from these 7 states are a warning. Our national conversation has international consequences. A thriving tourism industry depends on goodwill and mutual understanding. When that cracks, entire communities feel the impact. The challenge now is to repair relationships and rebuild trust. Have you seen these changes where you live? Share your story in the comments, and if this opened your eyes, subscribe for more. Because where people travel is about more than just geography, it's about respect.